Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I accidentally
Okay.
pressed going live really early.
That's okay. Don't
I was
worry
just getting it
because
ready.
that's right. We'll start admitting people. And Craig, if it's possible for you to turn your camera on, it means that you will be closer on the, and we can edit all this out, Jaden, so don't worry.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
awesome. If you
There we go.
turn your video off, you disappear further down the line for us.
Oh, I
So we're
wasn't planning. Yeah, I was planning to have it back on. Just
okay, perfect. Awesome. All right, we're gonna start letting people in and we'll be starting in just a minute.
great.
Um, and hello everybody out there on Facebook Live, even though we're gonna cut it off. This is the shall be edited segment of Facebook Live. Hello everybody, we're just getting everybody in the room. Thanks so much for being here. Hang tight. And pretty soon we will be where we need to be in order to say hello. Let's see, are we there? Have we got our folks in? Hello everybody, great to see you all. So glad you're here. Welcome to the Daily. Oh my gosh, you'd think after 906 days I could get that right. Let's try again, since we're editing anyway. Hello everybody, it's so great to see you all. Welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. Thank you so much to everybody for coming today on Wednesday, day 906. Thank you, Carolyn. And I bet Kevin and Christiana are going to be coming in waving signs at me in a minute. Nice to see everybody. Nice to have everybody here. Hello to everybody out there on Facebook Live. We're so glad you've joined us today. Thanks for being here. And hello, of course, to everybody in our glamorous, glorious room. Hi to Jaden, who is running the tech, coming in from Maryland. Thank you for being here. And today's brand new song leader, as we are embarking on New Friends Month here in the Daily Antidote, with still 2 days left after today. Our new friend today is Craig Edwards, coming in from Connecticut. Let's wave to Craig, and we'll be back to Craig in a minute with an actual intro. I want to say hi to Dan, coming in from Vienna, Virginia. Nice to see your smile. Hello to Kathleen in Albuquerque. Great to see you. Glad you're here. Hello to Carolyn Wolf, coming in from Boise, Idaho. Thank you for reminding us all that we are on day 906. What an achievement. Hey, can you guys imagine day 1000? Okay. Hello to Sheila. Wait a minute, I forgot to say, our day 1000 we think is going to overlap with New Year's Eve. Doesn't get any better than that. All right. Hi, Sheila. Nice to see you, coming in from Florida. Hello to Jamie, coming in from Victoria, BC. Hello to iPhone. I know I recognize you, but I'm not sure who that is. Nice to see you. Hi, Susan in Ohio. Great to see you. Glad you're here today. Hi, Bonnie in Idaho. Glad to see you with your usual ever-present beautiful smile. Hi, Kate in Charlottesville. Nice to have you with us today. Nice to see you, and I like your little heart in the background. Kathy on Arapaho Cheyenne land. Nice to have you with us again today. Luda in Victoria, reminding us to send some love. Thank you, Luda. Hello to Susan in Seattle. Good to see you. Big smile. Hello to Kevin in DC with the golden flute. Hello to Ruth in Birmingham, UK. Glad you're here. Jenny in Suffolk, UK. Wait, we have three of our UK people in a row. And then Phil and gang in Newcastle. That's, let's see, I can't see Pauline and Shizuki and Phil and maybe William somewhere over there in the background. Great to see all of you. Hi, William, over there in the background. Jane in Maryland, who looks actually like she's at a fancy English tea. And hello to Trish in Victoria. Chuck, nice to see you, coming in from Detroit. Kevin Ennis. Hello, Kevin. Nice to have you, coming in from New Hampshire. So glad you're back. Deborah in Baltimore. Glad to have you. One of our other new friends, song leaders this month, sang with us earlier. Nancy's Irish Cow in Washington State. Wait, there's a whole lot of people still on screen too. Deep breath. Why did I run out of breath already? Gary in Massachusetts, good to see you. Mabel and One Bear, actually outside in Massachusetts. That's a new view of Mabel's universe, wearing a t-shirt that we're definitely going to need to highlight or spotlight at some point. Great to see you, Mabel, and like the outside of your home. Deli, coming in from Maryland, good to see your smile. Hi, Carol in Connecticut, the creator of the amazing sheet. Hello to, that's funny, we have an amazing sheet and an amazing quilt. All right, hi to Curly Tops in Vermont. I'm really funny, did anybody notice? Papa and Mama Curly Top coming in over there on that other screen. Jim Harkless, hello, nice to see you. Annette in California, glad to see you. Ann in Maryland. Sandy in Western North Carolina, joining us even in the car. Hello, all of Sandy's friends in the car. What? That's Pat and Sandy. What? Pat and Sandy. That's Pat Humphreys and Sandy Opataw, Emma's Revolution. Thank you guys for being here in the car on the way to Somewheresville while you're driving to somewhere in North Carolina with Sandy. Okay, that's so special. I love it. Thank you for being here. Bob and another bear in Massachusetts, and Kat in Vermont, and Aloysius in Massachusetts, and Lynn in Connecticut. You're somewhere right near our friend who's singing today. Caroline in DC, And let's see, iPad and Nell. I think you might be new today. Nice to have you with us, or Nellie. I'm not sure how you say it. And Shelly is still connecting to audio and can't hear us saying hello. I hope I got everybody. Let's take a deep breath. Thank you, Craig, for taking a deep breath with us. That was absolutely perfect. I'm so excited today to have a brand new song leader in the room with us, Craig Edwards, coming in from at least the Mystic, Connecticut area. I know Connecticut, and is it actually Mystic?
I'm actually in Mystic, yep.
Actually in Mystic, a very lovely place to go kayaking, I will say. And thank you for being here and for bringing us music today. So I usually what we do is we go right into the song, and then we'll chat a little bit more about you and your song writing, song leading, song sharing experiences. Can you tell us just a little quick something about the song, and then maybe teach us the chorus, and then we'll sing?
Sure. One of the things I do as a musician is to rewrite lyrics of songs from the past that have great musical qualities but are otherwise objectionable to me in various ways. And this song, there's several versions of it from the mid-19th century. Unclear which is the earliest. It's sometimes called Jordan is a Hard Road to Travel, sometimes called Richmond is a Hard Road to Travel, which was the Civil War era version of it. But I, in the summer of 2020, as the George Floyd murders and Breonna Taylor killing and Ahmaud Arbery and all the other things led to that mass movement, I was thinking about the question of reparations and how that is difficult for some people. So I rewrote this song with the idea of trying to lead people into the idea of what it really means to make reparations, and so that's kind of what the lyrics are about. But as you'll hear, the melody is a sort of a jaunty melody, so makes a nice contrast, I think. Instead of it being all kind of makes it less preachy, I guess. And here's I know people want to sing along, so I'll teach the chorus first, which is based on the original chorus. It's really pretty close. Let's see. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. You want to try that with me, just the basic melody? 1, 2, ready, go. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. One more time, ready, go. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Pull off your overcoat and roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. And if you have a low voice, you could go down here. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. Pull off your overcoat. Anybody want other harmonies? I can teach other harmonies if you'd like that. Or are we pretty good? I don't want to belabor this necessarily.
No, I think we're excited to sing. Some harmonies are perfect, and if you're okay, let's try them out.
Absolutely. And just one other thing, I'm gonna do it a little faster tempo. This comes from a tradition of songs that sort of give people a chance to do sort of gymnastics with their delivery. So it'll be a little faster than that. I'll sing you a brand new song. It's a true truths about our nation. We can get by if we don't deny it. It's time to make reparations. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves. That's a mighty good road to travel. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves. That's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. Many long years of tolerating wrong, while privilege gives exemption. Build a new foundation up from the ground. That's the first step towards redemption. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves. That's a mighty good road to travel. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves. That's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. First thing to do if we're ever gonna build a house of truth and fairness, look evil in the eye, no room to deny, pay the reparation of awareness. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, mighty good road to travel, I believe. Walking, running, playing in the park, few things I can mention where you shouldn't have to die, no need to deny the reparation of attention. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. Stories go of daily wars, slights and threats and violence. Seal your lips and pay the reparation of listening in silence. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. Let those who know the way it goes lead with calm compliance. Use your privilege to pave the road, pay the reparation of alliance. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, mighty good road to travel, I believe. The past will show what we all know, but the value of remorse is to make it all right. So join the fight for the reparation of resources. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. When we get our new house done, built with a new addition, we'll pass it along and sing a new song all gathered in the kitchen. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, mighty good road to travel, I believe. Roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, mighty good road to travel. Oh, roll off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe.
Wow, Craig, that was so cool. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome.
That was amazing to sing, but I also love what you did with those lyrics, having reparations work through a whole series of things that aren't just all about concrete stuff, but also about the sort of intangible stuff like attention and awareness, and then ending it in the kitchen, sort of with everyone together in a new way, I think is absolutely just amazing. Thank you so much. Can we please all show Craig how much we appreciated the song and the sentiments of the song. And it is really interesting. We started to talk about this before during soundcheck, but we didn't get very far. That reparations is a word that, like, I think makes some people feel either afraid or kind of get on guard, or, you know, it challenges people, I think, especially if they've been taught to see reparations in a very sort of linear, like you have to give all your money away, and then there's like a resistance or something. So I love the fact that you redefined it as something so much broader, which of course it is, but I'm not sure that's the way the word's being used in the media. What can you say about, you know, how you got there?
Well, as I started to work with this idea, I realized that there's kind of the reparations that I list are a sequence, right? It's like if if you're just in denial that there's any problem, you can't go anywhere. So you have to be aware, and then you have to pay attention to the details, to what's going on, and then in order to get the parts of the story that aren't immediately apparent to you as somebody who isn't going through this, you need to listen and not make it about you, right? And then finally you need to take what you've learned and figure out how you can help and without trying to be in control. And once you've gone through that, you're in a place where you understand why reparation of resources is an important and viable and legitimate thing for people to want. But until you go through that, so the in one sense the reparation, I think that it's most important for people who aren't going through being the going through racism, is to do that emotional labor and not make other people do even more work in order to get us to where we can all gather in the kitchen, because ultimately that's what we should all want, right? I, what I actually think of kind of, it's there was that ally of Trump in the 2016 election that said if Hillary Clinton wins, there'll be taco trucks on every corner. And I thought, man, the biggest initial disappointment when Trump won was that I couldn't get up in the morning and go out and get my breakfast taco. It's like, that's terrible. But just because that, you know, I also think that food is a way that it's easiest for people to think about the things we can all share from what's really important to us about our identities as as people from different backgrounds in a place where we are all sharing a nation.
Yep.
And there's kind of no better way to sort of communicate what's some of the essence of the best of your culture than through food.
Yes, so it's beautiful that you say that. I remember when we were first starting to go through a lot of the awareness, the learning and the reading. And one of the things that I learned was that you weren't supposed to call out someone's culture because it can be a way of alienating rather than bringing. And that one really, really confused me. And I thought about all of the times that I'd climbed into taxis, now Ubers, and seen the person behind the driving wheel and seen their name on their card and said with so much enthusiasm, "Oh, so where'd you come from?" And then, not where'd you come from, because that would be a terrible way of saying it, but like, so tell me about your food culture, and your music culture is the other thing. And I had the most amazing both like journeys through culture and the most enthusiastic drivers who had a chance to talk to someone who was sitting in their car who wanted to hear about their food and wanted to hear about how their wife cooked a certain thing and wanted to hear about a particular instrument that they had. And so like, I think there's like a balance between understanding what are the ways that you can call out someone's culture where it's alienating, or what are the ways that you can like interact with someone where it's a cultural exchange, what they're longing for and what you're longing for, and a way of honoring each other and really like noting the ways we are the same and different, which is, I think, one of the things we have learned along this journey, right? Is we made assumptions about the ways that we might have been, that we thought we might have been the same, and that's an error. But that, of course, there's common humanity and things that we share and get enthusiastic about. So it's awesome that you bring up food, because I would have most assuredly expected you to lead with music, because as it turns out, we didn't know this when we first started, because I only just saw it when I was peeking at your bio again, that you also studied ethnomusicology at Wesleyan, which I did also.
Yeah.
So and you studied drumming with Abraham, which I did also. So when were you in Wesleyan?
I was there from 78 to 83. I took a year off in the middle.
That's awesome. So when you were there, would you say like this climate that we're talking about, that climate of culture sharing and about appreciating each other's humanities, like, is that not part of the fabric of what we were exactly doing? Like,
Oh, absolutely. And at that on that particular campus, in the time period that I was there, certainly it was a high point of kind of finding world cultures in the especially in the music department, but uh, throughout the faculty and graduate students, they're just amazing. The you remember the Good Harvest Food Co-op that was partly started because there were so many um, people in the music department from India who had family with them that there was a real need for a local store that would have the ingredients that you could make your home food with. So when I started to learn to cook, I was in these group houses at Wesleyan, and we could go down there and not only find all these ingredients, but also know people who knew how to cook in those traditions, and that was really a neat part of it. But or you probably also saw in my bio that I've done a lot of work with Cajun culture, and
Yep.
when you're in Louisiana, there's no such thing as just music. There's music and dancing and food and conversation and storytelling and kind of
Yeah.
ebullience everywhere.
Yeah, and actually, I think that when you really start to get to the heart of a lot of cultures, that's a really similar also thing that they share, right? It's
Right.
that there's that thing that's called life, whether it's a celebration or a festival or a birthday party or a Sunday family dinner or whatever it is, where people are coming together, and those elements play in so many cultures, right? As being sort of the heart of how you commune, and so that's your kitchen table at the end is beautiful because it's taking it another step where we're opening up our homes, we're opening up our lives, we're sharing in our common humanity, we are sitting around the table eating and learning about each other, and it's what we did even at the birthday parties with all our relatives, right? You got together and you just learned about the people that you loved, and that's sort of hopefully where a lot of this awareness will go, is that we will in fact have a deeper conversation and with much more overlap and human connection in every way. So beautiful. Thank you so much. I definitely needed to be thinking about that and be hearing about that. We have two song leaders that come in here. I don't know if you know Dan and Claudia Zanes, but Dan,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
okay. So Dan runs an organization called Constructive White Conversation, and lots of us in the room have gone to those. They came in the room one time and sang "Reparations Are a Must." I think it's on their new album, and again, just an amazing look at the subject of it. And it's one of the pieces I feel like at this stage of the sort of awareness journey that we should actually all be talking about much more, right? So we've gone through the learning cycle, and what are the tangible things that we can actually be doing to try to walk the walk, as they would say, or talk the talk. And yeah, so Dan and Claudia, have you ever played with them?
They Dan came and performed at the Mystic Seaport Sea Music Festival when I was running it.
That's awesome. And do you sing a lot of sea shanty ballad?
I worked as a staff musician at Mystic Seaport for over 35 years.
Okay, I'm so sure that I have met you. Like now you
Yeah.
just said that, and I'm like, okay, because I lived right sort of next door in New London, and used to spend a lot of time going over and being over in the waterways over there. So nice to see you again. I'm gonna go ahead and just say that.
Good.
So this has been really amazing. I know that we would all love to sing it again. Before we shift back into singing, can you tell us just a little bit about what you have either coming up, or something you're working on releasing soon, or
Sure. I just released a CD that came together over the pandemic, resulting from several projects that I was asked to do. When I because I'm a professional musician, so it was fortunate that I had some projects to do. But for the Maritime Studies program at the University of Connecticut, asked me to put together a package of songs based around the North Atlantic fisheries in the 19th century, because they were doing a early college credit high school program, um, And to train the teachers, I did music around the novel Captain's Courageous, which is what they were going to be reading with the high school students. So I did 3.5-hour films for that, and dug up a bunch of music I'd either known about but hadn't worked up or discovered while I was doing that. And then another similar kind of project for the Nantucket Whaling Museum. So I had a bunch of cool new repertoire that sort of, deep cuts from that repertoire that aren't songs that everybody knows, like Drunken Sailor or Blow the Man Down. So I did a CD called Alone on the Wide, Wide Sea, since I was alone for the whole time. But it's Solo Sailor Songs is the subtitle, and it's got some really neat material on it. And it's available on Bandcamp if you look up Alone on the Wide, Wide Sea.
That's great. Thank you. Jaden, I'm sure, is putting your Bandcamp links in the chat for everybody along with everything else. So are you playing anywhere soon?
I am playing at Riverfest coming up at Mystic Seaport in a couple of weeks. You can look it up on their website. I don't remember the exact date. And this Friday night, I'll be playing with an original roots rock band that I play fiddle, accordion, and mandolin in, called Sweet Mercy at The Parlor in Providence, Rhode Island. So those are
cool.
two things. And October 14th and 15th, I'll be playing contra dances at Glen Echo Ballroom just outside of DC, and on Friday, and then the Swing and Turn dance in New Jersey on Saturday night, a little contra dance tour.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
October what? You're at Glen Echo?
The 14th.
All right. How many folks in the DC area are going to be trying to get to? Yeah, I see. People are nodding. That's awesome.
I'll be playing with a trio that I play with called the Dead Sea Squirrels.
Awesome. That's awesome. Okay. I love it. So thank you so much. This has been remarkable, and I feel like there's a lot more talking we could do. So we're just going to have you come back and sing with us again. Maybe next time you can bring us one of your solo C songs. We can learn something off of that. Can we sing the song with you once more before we head out today? Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'll sing you a brand new song. It's the truth about the nation. We can get by if we don't deny that it's time to make reparations. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves. That's a mighty good road to travel. Pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves. That's a mighty good road to travel. I believe many long years of tolerating wrong while privilege gives exemption. Build a new foundation up from the ground. That's the first step towards redemption. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. First thing we owe if we're ever gonna build a house of truth and fairness. Look evil in the eye, don't wrong to deny, pay the reparation of awareness. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. Walking, running, playing in the park, a few things I can mention where you shouldn't have to die, no time to pay the reparation of attention. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll up your sleeves, mighty good road to travel, I believe. The stories go of daily woes, slights and threats and violence. Seal your lips and pay the reparation of listening in silence. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. Let those who know the way it goes take the lead with calm compliance. Use your privilege to pave the road, pay the reparation of alliance. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe. past will show what we all know. The value of remorses to make it all right. So join the fight for the reparation of resources. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Oh, pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, mighty good road to travel, I believe. When we get our new house done, built with a new addition, we'll pass it along and sing a new song, all gathered in the kitchen. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel. Oh, pull off your overcoat, roll up your sleeves, mighty good road to travel, I believe. Roll up your sleeves, mighty good road to travel. Roll up your sleeves, that's a mighty good road to travel, I believe.
Woo! Thank you, Craig Edwards. Absolutely spectacular. Really love it.
Hey, can I give you one little bonus song?
Oh, please.
Okay, this is
No complaining here.
I think you'll like this. The lyrics are not by me. They're a poem that dates back to the period of the enclosures in Britain. This is back in the 17th, early 18th century, and it's just an amazing poem that I came across, and it's a folk poem. Nobody knows who wrote it, so I set a tune to it. The law locks up the man or woman who steals the goose from off the common, but turns the greater villain loose that steals the common from the goose. The law demands that we atone when we takes things that's not our own, but leaves the lords and ladies fine who takes things that are yours and mine. The poor and wretched don't escape if they conspire the law to break, so it must be yet they endure, those who conspire to make the law. The law locks up the man or woman who steals the goose from off the common, and geese will still a common lack until we go and steal it back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What a great poem. And I was really a beautiful way to close today, because that's just, it's sort of taking it all and putting it into just a moment of very fine perspective. And thank you for setting that to music. Thank you for taking songs that have sort of fallen out of favor for whatever reason and writing words that we want to sing and that express sort of who we are now as a culture. Can we please all show Craig Edwards that we can't wait to sing with him again sometime soon? That was really, really precious. Hope we can have you back really soon.
I'd love to come back. I really would. This has been really nice.
Yay. Another new member of the family. Whoop, whoop. Okay, there's some Kathy B from another member of the family. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to all the good folks on Facebook Live. Thanks so much, gang, for joining us today, and see you tomorrow for day 906 and 2 days left of our New Friends Month. Thanks for being here in the Daily Antidote of Song, and thank you, Carpe Diem Arts.